Good morning, good morning, good morning, and for a fourth time say good morning. So I actually think, because I always say good morning three times in a row, somehow that's evolving to four times, which I'm fearful will evolve to five times and to six times. Um, I don't know why I like saying good morning so many times in the morning. It's maybe because I'm like waiting for someone to talk to me. Like because I'm up so early that by the time we get on at 10 o'clock, I'm like, okay, finally, someone to talk to me. Good morning, good morning, good morning. But that's just my silliness, right? So, good morning. How's everyone? Happy Saturday. Good to be alive. Good day to be Rhino. Yesterday in Rhino was a super duper duper adventurous day. And it's funny because going into Christmas, I've already expected that Rhino Bucks will be exciting. Like there'll be people that hadn't sold or weren't going to sell or whatnot, finding some opportunity. Okay, it's Christmas. I'd like to get this gift, this gift. I have this much coin. Let me go ahead and sell some, which is totally fine. I mean, you're never going to hear me say no. You can't sell. Like that's crazy. It's a market. That being said, our average volume on any given day is about, I don't know, like $1,000. And that's a good thing because it was 200, then 300, then 400, and it just continually grows. And that was the whole, so that's the whole point of Rhino in terms of how the investor coin and reward coin get released and how we reach those really, really big numbers. You need the market to mature. The only way a market can mature is with more participants. The only way you can have more participants is if you have more dollar volume. So when you have a market of say $10, well, you can't really have that many people participate because $10 is like shared amongst how many people. But if you have a market of say $1 billion, well, now a lot of people can participate because $1 billion is a lot of money. We're not at a billion and we're not at $10, but we're gradually getting further from $10 and closer to a billion. So we had a market volume average of like 200, then 300, then 400. And I would say we're around 1,000, 1,100, 1,200. Now, mind you, that just goes to show, and at least, well, it goes to show the money on Rhino side that what we're doing is working because as the participants of Rhino Retirement, the weekly members, continue their transactions and continue their investment, what's happening? Well, they're receiving the token, they're receiving the Rhino that's going into their portfolio, their wallet, and the cash is going into Rhino to go ahead and purchase the coin. So that's how it works. You send the money to Rhino, Rhino purchases the coin goes to you, yada, yada, yada. Now, the fear for that is, well, what if one day everyone just decides to sell or people stop buying or whatnot? Which is a well-founded fear when you think of how markets act before Rhino. And that's a kind of a big statement to say, oh, Rhino reinvented the way markets work. And that's not true. Like, that's not the case. But because every market in the world is, I want to say, filtered down to a niche, like Microsoft stock is filtered down to people that invest in tech. Burger King stock, if that's even a stock anymore, is filtered down to people that invest in restaurants. And when you do these investments, you have many types of investments. You have those that are passive and they're just going to own it and they own it for life. You have those that are traders. They're trying to get in and buy low and sell high and they bring in the volatility. You have the portfolio managers that are responsible for managing large sums of money that they have to do something with. They have to put it to what they believe will give them the best performance. So they'll take a large block and say, okay, buy 10 million shares. And that moves the stock up. And then on the very, very small scale of that, you have, say, well, actually not even well, I was going to say mutual funds, right? So I was going to say you have your mutual fund investors that go ahead and invest on a monthly basis, and they just keep adding and adding and adding. But what I failed to realize in the second that I was going to say that, then did say it, was that mutual funds are actively managed by portfolio managers. These portfolio managers say, okay, we have all these people in the mutual fund, they're sending money every single month. Great. Well, where are we going to put that money? So they have the discretion to say, okay, well, we want to put it with Burger King, or we don't, and we want to sell it. The point being, there isn't a market that's large that is built on just recurring, dependable, stable, low dollar amount investing. Because as you'll notice with all the different markets I shared with you, they're all very, very, they're all very what's the word I'm looking for? They're all very susceptible to a movement in the discretion of a money manager. So for instance, Burger King in that example, if the money manager says, oh my God, well, your burgers really aren't that great anymore. McDonald's has better burgers. We think they can have better growth. We're going to sell all of your stock. Well, unbeknownst to Burger King and having nothing to do with their day-to-day operations, their stock's going to go dramatically lower because there's all that being sold. And because that's being sold, other people say, well, why is that going lower? I don't know what's going on. Let me get out too. I'd rather shoot first and ask questions later. The difference with RHINO is the fact that I'm here every single day. There is no secrets. I don't even have sleeves, right? All of the metrics, all of the performance is sent on a daily basis. I'm here live on a daily basis. But more so than that, we know what we're getting into, right? We know that our whole value proposition is that because we are opting in perpetuity, and you can opt out at any time, right? But until you opt out, you're opted into perpetuity on a low dollar amount that you're continually investing. Well, what happens to the price of the coin? It continually goes up because that's continuing buying pressure. And where it brings me is that on a day like yesterday, where you see the selling pressure spike, and the reason I was citing average volume of 1,000 to 1,100 was yesterday was 4,500. But because the way we're built, the money's there. It's always going to be able to buy and support the coin because that's where the money's coming from. It's coming from the members, the participants, and the money is earmarked to go ahead and continue supporting the coin. And it's this behavior that creates something much larger. It creates like a zeitgeist. It's a German word for just overall feeling in the air, right? And what I mean by that is when you see that the way RHINO is ran, okay, they have big ideas. They're constantly moving forward. They're constantly inventing new stuff. They're getting better every single day. They're accountable. They're right in front of my face. Okay, well, how they manage their finances? Well, the coin, regardless of how much selling pressure comes in, always goes up. It's always up another penny per day. In fact, anytime it's down, I take a look an hour later and it's bought right back up. Like, that's a good thing. Okay, well, is it volatile? Is the coin just flying all over the place? No. In fact, when it gets bought to the point where it's up 2, 3, 4%, they then sell into it because they're going ahead and exhausting the total supply of RHINO. And by doing so, when you exhaust the total supply, you now have no more cap on it, right? Like RHINO at some point is going to be flying. In fact, if we really wanted to, we could probably let it fly right now. It wouldn't fly very long because it's only, 350 members. It's only a $40,000 market cap inside of the Pancake Swap. It's only now $4,000 in average volume. Well, not average, but yesterday's volume. That's not enough to be a market that can't be squashed. But is it enough to be a market that can fly for a couple of days? Sure. Maybe even a couple of weeks. Like we have about almost now it's 8,000, but it was close to 10,000 a couple of days ago. And that was because the $500 plans came down and those people purchased large blocks, right? But even still, that's 8,000 a week. That's buying is buying it. So that's a good thing. So the idea always has been, let's keep the price low enough, stable enough, dependable enough for a long enough period of time that we can create awareness amongst those that are interested in getting into RHINO. And the more people that become interested in getting into RHINO, and obviously the value proposition of a coin that goes up, all the things that we just shared, increases the number of member accounts. Now remember, those member accounts are automated purchases. Meaning, when you go ahead and turn 350 members into 500, into 1,000, into 10,000 is the number we want to get to, that's 10,000 automated accounts that are buying agnostic to price, at market price, doesn't matter what the price is, every single day of every single week. And I think the average amount is $23, so 10,000 times $23 is almost $250,000. Imagine $250,000 every single week by 10,000 different purchasers, all purchasing the same thing. Doesn't matter what price, they'll buy it at any price. So one might say, well, Ant, they'll buy it at any price. That seems kind of silly. Yeah, I'd agree with you if they were the only ones. But when the entire shareholder base is the base that's buying it at any price, then it doesn't matter. You could deduct that out, right? If everyone's doing it, well, that's not a differentiating factor anymore. Everyone's doing it. And because everyone's doing it, Rhino will double and triple overnight, probably regularly, because there is no selling. It's only people buying at whatever price it gets to. And you might say, well, Ann, how do they have the money to do that? They don't. It's not that they have the money to go buy, if you could buy 10 Rhino today, it doesn't mean you could buy 10 Rhino tomorrow. It might mean you can only buy 5 Rhino tomorrow. But Rhino has 18 decimal points. So if I have $100 and the coin's $100, I could buy 1. If I have $100 and the coin's $1,000, I could buy 0.1. If I have $100 and the coin's $100,000, I could buy 0.001, right? Like something like that. The point being, I'm still buying at that price, but my amount that I'm buying is less. So does that lower the price? No, because I'm still buying at a higher price. I can only afford less. Meaning when someone comes out and says, all right, well, I'll sell, well, good. People would love to buy it a little bit less because it just keeps doubling and doubling and doubling. So the point being, that person, does he come out and say, okay, I'll sell some, and he sells it at like 1,000, right? And the next day it's 2,000. Do you think that person's ever going to sell again? Probably not. Do you think anyone else is ever going to sell again? Probably not. Well, Ant, if they're never going to sell, how do you buy? Well, there's always a price someone's willing to sell. It's just not going to be at that price. So maybe the market participants say, okay, I'll sell, but I'm not selling it less than 10,000 because I saw what happened. Okay, great. That'll be the next purchase. So the coin could go from 1,000 to, yeah, why not? The point is, when you create such an army of automated buyers at low dollar amount, that is the entire shareholder base, that is the panacea. That's a perfect market. It just keeps going up. And here's where the mission statement of RHINO comes in, where we were always talking about protecting and defending the 99%, to go ahead and transfer the wealth from the 1% to the 99%. Well, this is exactly how it's done, because as an asset moves up in price, it moves up in dollars, right? Or any currency, but it moves up in the number of currency. Well, there's only a finite amount of currency. So if RHINO goes from $100 to $1,000, that means the rest of the world is worth $900 less, right? Because that $900 went to RHINO. Now, is that something you could ever really calculate or feel? No, $900. It's like pouring a cup of water in the ocean. Did the sea level rise? Yeah, but I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to calculate it. But if RHINO, which has a billion supply, and everyone owns all the billion supply, goes from $1 to $10, well, that's $9 billion. Like RHINO's worth $9 billion more. Does the world feel that? Probably not. 9 billion. Okay, what if it doubles the next day to 20? Does the world now feel that another 10 billion has been taken? Probably. Well, what if it doubles to 40? Does the world feel 40 billion taken? It starts getting attention. And the point is, once you get attention to anything, and now, first of all, that's the transfer, right? Because the money's being taken from the world and brought into RHINO as pure calculation of this coin's worth this, there's X amount of coins, multiply it together, right? And as long as you could sell into the market, that's fine. Well, if the market's all automated buyers, well, you can always sell into the market. That's the point. So it gets to the point where people start paying attention. What is this RHINO? What is going on over there? And anyone could scroll back to all of our videos, all of our emails, and see, well, this isn't a fly-by-night operation. This is something that they've been planning to do for quite a long time. This was the plan. They are achieving what they set out to. Maybe I'll tune in and see what they're talking about. So they tune in and we're all celebrating, but guys, the work is not done. We're going to do this, 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 and this. And those individuals say, wow, I want to be a part of this. The point being, when it gets there, the behavior of a stranger or the behavior of a shareholder is which? Do they want to be a part of it, or do they want to sell and run from it? So these are the things that we're building towards. And I'm okay with going slow in the beginning, although I did say we're getting into warp speed and we're now like halfway through the month and I have not seen the warp yet, but I got to tell you, it's completely my fault. I was talking to RVP yesterday and they beat me up. Like after an hour, I was like, guys, I love y'all. I'm not used to getting beat up this much, but check the ego at the door, right? Like I don't have an ego. I represent RHINO. And everyone's like, no, Ant, we love you. Like it's wonderful that we could have this type of conversation with you. So there are things that I still need to improve, and we're doing it. So what you'll see in the email today was we highlighted to list your own business. it is the opinion of our VP that we really should start leading more with that. And after one or two touch points, then go into Rhino Bucks, because it is of the opinion of our VP that people understand and are very much sensitive to, great, local business. This solves that. I want to be a part of it. When you start talking about crypto, the majority of people are like, I'm not interested, right? So to go ahead and bridge the gap, one of our RVP members suggested, hey, well, the search engine's free, but nothing's really free. So would you like to know how it's being paid for? Check out Rhino Bucks. We'll explain it over here. In which case you can tie them together and actually make Rhino stronger, because anytime you go anywhere and someone says it's free, you're kind of like, I don't believe that. And it's uncomfortable to not know how it's being paid for, because if you don't know how something's being paid for, you're the one susceptible to being taken advantage of. It's almost like when you walk into a room and everyone's laughing, or no, you're in a room and everyone's laughing and you're like, I don't get it, what's the joke? Well, it's you, right? Like, that's why you don't get it. The joke's about you. So we're going to kind of try highlighting that a little bit more, but also on the back end, Rhino Bucks is going to be obviously very, very prevalent. So today I'm going to be completing the Rhino Bucks lander page, a new video, a new couple of things that I really like a lot, and I think it's going to really boost that. We finished that with Rhino Street, so we're doing a lot of good stuff. Also, I gotta share with you, right? I know I'm a little bit over. I think I say that every day around this point, because like I know I'm over. So the search engine, Rhino Street. So we integrated the Chat GPT that I was telling you about. And of course we got the approvals and licensing, blah, 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 all the stuff that goes with it. Long story short, on our team meeting yesterday, we were testing it. And I was like a kid. I was like so excited for this call. I couldn't wait to, yeah, Frida, I did correct it. Thank you. I was so excited for it. Couldn't wait, right? And so I was like, okay. And Ralph was the head of search. I was like, all right, let's take this thing for a spin. Like, let's go. So he pulls up the search, and the search now has a search bar, and then there's two buttons underneath it. It says search local or ask Rhino. Because obviously if you're searching local, you want the local results. And if you're asking Rhino something, it's a question that you would like the answer to. So I was like, okay, let's do it. So I go, let's ask Rhino how to make a pizza. And within 3 seconds, you had 7 bullet points come out, all worded from the app. And it gave you step-by-step directions from temperature to put on, to have your oven set at, and yada, yada, yada. I was like, no way. I was like, okay, how many countries are in there in the world? 195 according to the UN. Okay. This is crazy. Give me the lyrics to Dave Matthews' Ants Marching. Boop, 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 boop. I said, write me a love song. Boop, 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 boop. Tell me a joke that has 10 words in it. Boop. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, this is better than anything I've ever come across. And that's going to be part, well, it is part of Rhino Street, but in terms of us releasing it and showing everyone, now it's going through styling and testing and all that fun stuff. But by next Friday, and I had our team commit to this, it will be done and it will be pushed live. And wait till you guys get a look of this. It's seriously cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Also with the bot, so the bot, which is absolutely the bane of my life, is, okay, so I'm learning that there's a difference between live and real time. So the bot was supposed to be real time as of Thursday, but one of the errors found in the bot was the scheduling code, whatever. The point being that needed to be corrected, and we have all assurances that with the highest degree of certainty, all the bugs have been corrected. Now, of course, you don't know what you don't know, right? But all the bugs have been corrected. The problem with that is, so now it's live, but it's not real time for 7 days, because the way the bot is coded, because it's weekly investments, it has to mark everyone paid and then wait for a week later to then see the next transaction by that individual, so that it doesn't pay everyone in the entire database from the beginning. See, if I don't do that, every investment anyone's ever made, you'll get paid double for and right away. So if you've accumulated 2,000 coin over the course of your time with us, you'll get paid 2,000 coin tomorrow. Now, obviously for you, you might say, well, that sounds great, Anthony. For me, that doesn't sound great. And not because I'm greedy, but because I have to steward RHINO. And obviously that would not be good for RHINO. So we now have to wait a whole nother week before we could go real time, which means I'll be sending the bulk sends. It's not like anyone's going to miss out on anything. But in terms of getting it that real time, that second, that will wait till, I believe, Thursday or Friday. But we're on it is the point. So I just want to share that with you. So I'm now officially 10 minutes over, but there was just so much to share. So I want to let everyone know the State of the Union is good, as always. Oh, lastly, I don't know who's messaging me, but I'll get to them. Lastly, there is so much cool AI stuff out there, from like AI images to copywriting to sales this to like a lot. Like even speaking, and I don't know, there's a lot. So I'm probably gonna go down this wormhole at some point this week. And I'm thinking I would like to go ahead and create like an AI agency, just an automatically ran by itself, all the coolest features, put a video together, how to work it, etc., and release it to everyone. Now that's a big goal, right? Like I want to create the best agency in the world that's automatic and just give it to you. So it is a big goal. I just got to see how to do it. So I just want you to know that is on the back burner, and I might be looking at some of the stuff today. But so that's all we have. Frida, I see you didn't respond back, so I believe you probably have seen my email and everything's corrected. If that's not the case, I will correct it. To the person that's messaging me on Facebook, I'm not going to be nasty, but I want you to know in my head right now, I'm thinking not nice thoughts. But that's okay. I love everyone equally. And whoever it is, I'm going to write and be like, hey, what's up? I was on a live, sorry. So absolutely love y'all, and I will see you Monday. Bye.